Okay. I always do this. I always go and get everything set up, and then I realize that my glasses are dirty and I can't see anything. Where? Using my glasses cleaner. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. Got my exercise out of the way this morning. Got everything set up, I think. I hope. Puppet Golem Lizard familiar? Is that your suggestion today? Is that what's going on? Just realized I have last week's list. I don't know why I don't have this week's list. So let's figure that out. Let's get that figured out. There we go. Okay. I loaded the Psychopomp video instead of the stream start. That is weird. I don't know what that's about. I don't know how you did that. Alright, let's warm up. Let's do it. Let's warm up with some rugbies. Oh my gosh. Come on, pen. There we go. Probably gonna be kind of chilled today, I hope. It's cold, it's rainy. Hello from Mexico. How about a Tabaxi Sun Cleric? We can put that on the list. I clicked on the link in the video description instead of the video alert. Ah. Yeah. That's what that's for. It is almost Easter. Is that this Sunday? The rabbits in my yard are everywhere. I went for a walk today and they're all over the neighborhood. Double ear rugby. I was gonna say it looks really weird with him having like rabbit ears versus just normal goblin ears. Sunday was Palms. This Sunday's Easter. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Pixel has been quite distraught over the rabbits. Sorry, I'm late. Technology is revolt again, including the laptops. It's going well on your end. Yeah, they're doing all right. So far, so good, anyways. There we go. It's the Easter rugby. It's a little cotton poof on his butt. Could a necromancer raise a dinosaur, then ride it? Two trains of thought. One, yes. There's no reason you couldn't. Via the rules, bones. The second rule of thought is that no, because dragon bones aren't bones, dragon bones are rocks. So you would have to have a recently dead dinosaur to do it. That being said, the Dresden books have a pretty cool concept of necromancy is a lot about, like, the older the bones are, the more powerful they get. So if you have a fossil, even though it's no longer the bone, it still represents the thing. So dinosaur bones are super powerful. So that's the thing. So it depends on whether or not you care about it being a fossil. That being said, there are dinosaurs in D&D, so like it doesn't necessarily have to be a dinosaur fossil that could be revived. You could just revive a dinosaur because they exist. So I say yes. I say yes with the caveat that dinosaur fossils are not technically bone anymore. They're fossilized replications. I do want it to be a fossil, though. Well, then you just got to talk to your DM about it, and hope that they don't care. So, like I said, Dresden makes a good excuse for it. Not only is it something that has represented a dinosaur, but it's also like 1 million years old, so. Could a necromancer raise a fish sculpture? No. Fossils are weird. Fossils are weird, yo. Maybe you would need one that's like trapped in tar. So it's not actually fossilized, it's just bones. I think that's a pretty good rugby warm-up. I think I'm ready to go. I think we're ready to start today. A cyborg's implant could work worms long enough. If worn long enough. That's kind of, that's kind of the Dresden argument. Like, it doesn't actually matter that it's bone. It's just something that represents the creature. So, like, if you had, let's say, like, a pocket watch from somebody who had it their whole life, maybe you could revive a specter of them. Because with the Dresden things, like, you're using ectoplasm to create a physical body anyways. You're not just, like, raising a zombie. You're not raising... you're not animating a corpse, right? You're not casting animate corpse. You're actually, like, creating the body itself out of magic. So there's an argument. There's an argument to be made there. Let's start a poll. that. I'm going to roll the dice for the first draw. If I can find my dice. My dice are over here. I've been painting stuff with oil paints, and my last set of doing so has not dried. And I don't know how long it's going to take to dry. And I don't know. I'm not used to oil paints, so we'll see. Of course, I rolled, and there's not one of those. 10. A Snow Owl Clockwork Sorcerer who 100% believes he's a wizard. His book and staff to prove it. So we're drawing a wizard. We're drawing an owl wizard. Did I just draw a parakeet? Owls have surprisingly small mouths. Except for those ones that have like the huge mouths. Owls are birds, so they're kind of varied, I guess. I guess this one's a snow owl though, right? Let's just look up a snow owl. Better to have reference than to guess, and guess wrong. Acrylic or other type of oils? Acrylics usually aren't oil based, I don't think. I have no idea. Premium oil paint is all it says. Maybe I bought the wrong kind. Imagine a Dresden Files necromancer raising that weird early predator? Trilobites. Oh, like old school Godzilla style. I can see that. Snow owls don't have the horns, which makes me sad because I like the horns. They also don't have much of a beak. Like, a lot of it's covered with floof. I think today I'm going to focus on cool clothing. So let's get a good shape. Get a real good shape in here. Not get too distracted by the head floof yet. I want to make a rogue wizard that lives in the walls of a bard college to learn how to pick up magical girls. Is that like an anime? Sounds like it could be an anime. Also, that's an interesting use of the term magical girl. Are we talking about magical girls or wizards? Actually, that's an interesting question. Do magical girls have magical powers beyond their warlock abilities? Or do they only have the power when they transform into magical girls? Being like witches. Okay. Yeah, no, that's right. I still think sorcerers should just be... Actually, would it be wizards or sorcerers be the archetype? I think sorcerers should just be an archetype that for like a racial trait. I'm of two minds. I don't like that being a sorcerer can like get in the way of you becoming a high level wizard. That's really my issue. Because I feel like training your sorcery power should just be a thing that happens as you live, but maybe not. Because you could say the same thing about warrior. Why couldn't you be a warrior and a wizard, a high level wizard? But maybe you're giving up time, lifting weights to learn the book. You know. Pathfinder, Witch, and D&D Warlock are weird that they're like flavor, but hell of a different in execution. Yeah, Witch and Warlock are... Warlock is really... really strange. Warlock is a strange one. It's like kind of... I feel like it's just flavor. Like, what if flavor but free cantrip spells? Because now in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, pretty much everybody has the cantrip abilities of Warlock, so you don't need to be a Warlock. You can just be a cleric with Warlock powers. And you can follow the same rules of, like, Pact of the Chain, or Pact of the Tome, for literally any class. Like, you could find a book that could make you a really good monk, or a really good warrior. And I think it would be totally fine. Warlocks are more like candy flavors, yeah. There's no perfect thing, because it has to fit into a game, right? So... We'll give him some tattoos up here. I feel like if you're born a sorcerer, you shouldn't have to it shouldn't have to be your level or your class. It should just be a thing you have. Level game that mixes Eberron and Avernus. Ereborn and Avernus. Oh, you could do that. That should be pretty easy, actually. Yeah, tattoos on an owl? I mean, it's just the feathers, right? How would you redesign Warlock? Double down on being a cantrip caster. I mean, I don't know how I'd redesign it. It's kind of just... Honestly, I'd probably just remove it. it's one of those things where I think they were trying to do something to make cantrips more interesting, and it's like, yeah, just do that with all cantrips. Like, I don't understand. When I hear people talk about, like, they want a pure cantrip caster, really what they want is they want spells without spell slots. Like, which, in most cases, is a bad idea. But the fact that they scale makes them effectively better than pretty much everything in the game because they have no cost. So, yeah. So I think Pathfinder redesigned them a good way, where it's just if you have cantrip spells, they automatically heighten with you as you level up. Just passively. Like, that makes total sense. Which, the cantrips themselves are slightly weaker, but they're meant to be on par with, like, a general use weapon, right? Like, so, just swinging a sword, just using a cantrip is maybe not... It's supposed to be an efficient option, not like a huge blaster option. And so with the Warlock, I like that you can do things like Twin Spell and stuff, right? Like, those are cool meta feats that you can apply to your cantrips. That's pretty neat. I would just port Magus and Witch. Yeah, exactly. Like Magus is, I think, a much better option, which would go into the meta feats and stuff. If sorcerers weren't a class, why wouldn't everyone be a sorcerer? I think most people are sorcerers. and that's kind of the problem. I've talked a little bit about, like, Warlock's not necessarily OP because it's fairly balanced, but there's no reason not to dip Warlock. And that to me means something is wrong with the system or wrong with the class. It's too good. And really it's just showing off the inherent thing that's missing with Warlocks, or with 5e specifically. Which I think is also why people want, like, a psychic character. It's the same thing. Like, a Warlock is essentially a psychic character. I want to use Mind Fire. Oh, you mean Firebolt? Yes. I want to just blast it with my psychic energy. Oh, you mean Eldritch Blast? Yeah, do that. Like, you can 100% make a psychic character and just have it be a Warlock. Like, just flavor it as a Warlock. You get your psychic powers from, whatever you want. Whether it's government research, Akira style, or ghosts. Professor Xavier's School for the Gifted. Whatever you want. Bri, hello. Thank you for the gift membership. Do online have tails? Owlins. Ooh, do owlins have tails? I think so. I generally draw them pretty owly. I try to give them as much floof as I can. I gotta figure out what I'm doing with these sleeves. I think I'm gonna go, like, real big sleeves. And then that way the feathers can come out. And there are 2 charisma classes. I mean, the problem with charisma is that you get a lot out of it. It's the same problem with, like, that's inherently an issue with Bard and Rogue and Monk. And why there's no Constitution caster. It's just too many things on the same stat. So I really think, like, I think will needs to be a stat, and I think, like, that should be the primary thing for, like, clerics and maybe warlocks. And I see why they pushed it into charisma, right? Like using your charisma to kind of enforce your will on something works. Like that thematically works. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having more like constitution-based stuff. But you'd have to revamp the armor system because hit points are not dynamic enough to make that functional. Yeah, Cosmic, I mean, you're allowed to have wrong opinions. It's fine. We have this fight about monks all the time in 5e. Monks are super, super broken early in the game, and then they peter off really fast. So, and it's an item problem. But monks are super powerful because they have so much front-end building that all they have to do is stack dexterity, and they're great. So everyone always says wisdom is the will save, but it's actually it's charisma. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like if you want wisdom, either needs to be uncoupled from charisma. Sorry. Let me say that a better way. Will saves should be based on your will, right? Wisdom can improve your will, and I would argue that charisma can also improve your will, but I think it's not complicated enough for what it is. So charisma should be interactivity. It should be uncoupled from your will, because just if you're good at talking to people doesn't mean you have like a high mental fortitude, and high mental fortitude kind of isn't a thing, which is why it's on wisdom. But wisdom, I just don't think is kind of specific enough. So it's a little bit weird. I would argue that a lot of like, especially with warlock, like if you are being controlled or maybe empowered by this dark eldritch being, I don't know if you have a strong will. Like you're kind of letting its will live through you, so maybe that explains it. Like it should be using your patron's will, but I don't know. Dresden is technically a wizard, but he's also a sorcerer and also a warlock. So like those three things, they're so ambiguous that you can really make an argument for all three of them being the same or different. I always thought wisdom as a defense and charisma as offense. That's an interesting way to look at it, Elliot. That could be a good way to look at it. What if a patron is your dad and gives you free will? Then you're a sorcerer, I guess. Like, you're just a sorcerer at that point. So I really think we need to like look at the maybe not the complexity of the three, but like what makes each of them stand out. Because I could see an argument for a sorcerer is essentially someone born with magic, right? Like that's a great way to start. But was that depending on how that magic was given to you through like straight bloodline or like someone enchanted your child, that could make a difference. And then maybe the warlock should just be, instead of it being a whole class, it should really just be either a feature or an archetype for basically any class that wants additional spell power, like gain cantrips through packs, right? That should be the warlock thing. Anybody can get that. So I basically see wizard, fighter, or rogue, and then you can have sorcerer, which is like from your bloodline, go into any of those, and that's how you get Eldritch Knight, right? And that's how you get Draconic Wizard. That makes sense. So sorcerer should give you cool features that let you do that, and then warlock is the same thing but the other direction. The fact that these are their own classes is weird to me. Sorcerer, I think, has more of an argument to be made for being its own class, but that's only because you can go this direction. I still think it should be intrinsically linked to your race, and it's not, and that's what bothers me about it. Because once you're a sorcerer, like how do you focus on that? Do you focus it into weapons and become a magus, or do you focus it into just spell casting and become a really, really like powerful wizard that doesn't have to have a book to cast? Like, that's the thing. Like, I can see an argument for that being its full class. 3 classes in the world, huh? Fighter, cleric, paladin. That's it. That's all you need. Actually, I really like ranger. I really like ranger and rogue. Rogue is fun. Ninja's a good class too. I like ninja a lot. I drew too much crap. My pen's huge. There we go. I'd make sorcerer and wizard sort of conjoined classes. I read the words too fast. Sharing a lot of features, but small but meaningful differences between them. Yeah. And in older editions, like the wizard needing the focus of the book and like the spell list, I really like that. I know a lot of people struggle with kind of having like force prepared spells like that. And so having like the sorcerer and the oracle, I think are really, really fun. I think they're really fun classes to play. So like, I definitely see, like I said, I see the appeal of having that be its own class. Oh, sorry, Bri, I just now missed this. Oh, that was from yesterday. Okay. Sorry, I had to scroll down in Discord. But ninja is not like an advanced class or more like multi-classing. So in Pathfinder, ninja is its own thing, but it is pretty close to being like a rogue monk, because you have the key points. You do have the key points as a rogue, but then you can basically either focus on like ninjutsus, or you can focus on better stealth tactics, essentially. So I really like those. I built a melee ranger beastmaster in Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, that can be fun. Whenever I play Baldur's Gate 3, I keep trying to get rid of my pets, and they just won't let you do it. Yeah. Rogue, monk, fighter, wizard stuff. Exactly. That's it. I think the thematic sorcerer needs like a huge upgrade. And the mechanical warlock needs to just not exist. I really struggle with Pathfinder 1E's wizards and clerics. The play of lots of oracle and sorcerers. Yeah. I like the changes to 5e had with wizards and clerics and other level classes in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Right. And I think that's kind of the thing. Like, they essentially got rid of the way wizards and clerics worked for the oracles and sorcerers, which kind of means that sorcerers and wizards are still very similar. And a little too similar in my mind, in 5e. I like how Naruto's put everyone's head that ninjas should be able to use spells. Oh, yeah. Like, old school, what was it? Like, even Ninja Scrolls. Not Ninja Scrolls, that's the anime. Shoot. Shinobi? It's not Shinobi. Team Ninja made what game? I can't think of what it's called now. Because Shinobi was the stealth one. Ninja Gaiden? Yeah, it might have been Ninja Gaiden. I think it was Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden's great. Shooting fireballs and stuff. Super fun. Super fun. Monk equal fighter rogue. Paladin equal fighter cleric, etc. Yeah. Yeah, and that's how it was in old editions. Like, it was just multi-classing. So, like, having advanced classes, I think, is great. I feel like fighter, clog. I'm reading all the words in one go. I feel like fighter, cleric, rogue, and wizard are all base classes, and each other class is either a wilderness version, rogue, ranger, fighter. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. That's the difference between the base and core classes, and like even all the way up to prestige classes. So that is very much, I think, the intent of the. Oops, Aggie just exploded. There we go. And that's not to say that any of those are bad or good or anything. Like, it's just there's always going to be a conflict of flavor versus mechanics. Like, it's just, it has to happen, right? And that's like the same argument with psionics and stuff. Is like, mechanically, that is, you can do that, but people want it to thematically make sense, and it's like, yeah, but you already have it, so you're just. I would like you to reprint the magic spells list with different words, please. And that's they're not going to do that. That's why there's such a big push against it. Each class just needs to be stronger extremes of whatever they do. It may be. Corvus and I had a conversation about we have like a, it's not really a conflict of I think Corvus and I both agree on the way 5e makes their characters versus Pathfinder makes their characters, where 5e is very much like, here is the path to go for this character, and 2nd edition Pathfinder is like, do whatever the fuck you want. And I like Pathfinder for that reason, whereas Corvus likes 5e for that reason as well. Like, and so I think part of it is just like flavor wise, because people will make the argument that, like, you even said this, Cosmic, I think, a better ranger is a fighter, or a better monk is a fighter. And it's really because, like, people want X thing to happen. So, like, I want to hit really hard with my fists. Fighters are going to be better than that. But it's like, but monks are flavored that way. Why don't they do that? And it's because monks have all these other functionalities that that make monk unique. But this is the thing that people want out of it, right? And so with warlock, people want the cantrips, but they want a whole lot of cantrips. But it's like, they're still a mage class, so they still have to have the utility of those spells. Because if you just only have a spell list that is like, this is literally just warlock, you're essentially writing a new mechanic into the system, and it feels really weird. And that's why cantrips are so much more powerful for them. And so that's why making it ubiquitous across all of the classes in Pathfinder made a lot of sense. And it feels really good to let anybody have their cantrips upgraded. But it makes the warlock obsolete at that point. Sorcerer should be, I only know burning hands, but I can make detonate and burn over time. Yeah, that's meta magic feats, which once again, like, that's essentially what the Magus is. And I think the Magus works really well. Okay, let me see where this is going. Where, like, I feel like more as a cleric, but with more options at times. I tried making burning melee ranger build in Honor of the Battlegrounds 2, but a slow grind. Yeah, if you want to do, like, the melee ranger is always really fun to me. Like, I would love to be a ranger with a spear. Like, that sounds really, really fun. I've tried it a few times, and it doesn't quite work right. There's a handful of things you can do, like if you have bow skills, you just forego it for any ranged weapon or forego tier weapons as well. Just like hand wave the restrictions. That can tend to make the game really well, but you have to be careful about that stuff. So you have to talk to your DM about what you're hand waving and why it's okay for you to do that versus like, what if everybody can do that? Because that breaks the game really fast, and that's usually why the rules are set the way they are. But exceptions like that can add some flavor to the world, and I think that's really good. Look at me, definitely a wizard. Oh, wings are hard. Tried with axes and crossbows. Monks have mobility in general and cannot be disarmed. Right. Yeah. Yeah, monks are powerful, and people, I think, just kind of either because the way they play is very tank and spanky to where that mobility is kind of unnecessary. Can make monks seem really unflattering or unfunctional. Or they're put in a party where the rest of the party is so amped up on magic that the monks just feel outpaced very quickly. Boop, boop. There we go. Yeah, my friend played a fighter ranger in Baldur's Gate and was really, really powerful, and it was fun. And then he also played a melee ranger, and it was also really fun. So, like, yeah, you can really do a lot. But for the most part, there's just weird things that each class is really good at. Monks are ironically great at espionage or social game. No weapon allowed. Are you sure? No problem. Right, that's a good bonus they have. Which you think like rogues would be better at that. That's my argument for like the ninja, is you really want the benefit of the sneak attack portion of the rogue, but with the kind of like inherent deadliness of the monk, which I think is great. Every freaking time I try to skip an ad, it puts me back at the beginning. But I hate that they're giving me 3-minute ads. Ooh, sorry, Elliot, that's no good. That's no good. I had a DM that... I wonder why it puts it back at the beginning. That's very strange. Every time I go into how to fix the classes, I keep going to, but why keep classes and not go to a point-based class system? And not a lot of people have done that too. Yeah, classless system games are interesting. They tend to be, I think, a little more directed towards min-maxers in general. And that's okay. Like, that's nothing wrong with that. Like, Path of Exile is a really cool example of that. Basically, everybody is a classless system, and you build your class as you go. That works out pretty well. But it does tend to like exacerbate systems into like fitting into a meta of what is the best of the best, right? Like that's the only downside to those. So they're a little harder to balance. They're harder to balance because otherwise you have a team that just all has the exact same feats. So can't sponsor today's stream. I'm a little on the broke side, guys. Yeah, no problem, Elvin Hair. That's not your problem. That's not your fault, I should say. Like, you have been wonderfully generous to the channel, and that's no problem. No problem at all. I think I'm about done with this guy. What kind of shirt should we give him here? Do like some leather strapping, maybe? Not like a what the hell's it called? Like a harness, but like a leather cummerbund. Some shirt padding here. You're in the similar boat. I mean, it's the end of the month, right? Like, that's totally understandable. Unfortunately, that just means we have ads today, so this is no problem. I mean, it's no problem for me. Sorry, guys. Money. Money is dumb. But I needs it. Of the owl a lot. Good. Good. I wonder, how come I make him a little more... If we want him to be a sorcerer, he's got to have some purple in him. So we'll put some purple on here, and then we'll call it, and we'll draw the next one. Yeah, I really love the... It might just be that if you want to play like a sorcerer or something, I just inherently would want to multi-class them. There's also the functionality of like a sub-job, which Pathfinder has a system for that being their free archetype system. So essentially every 3 levels you get a free class feat from a different class. And it makes this really cool like blending of different classes. And I think that fixes a lot of my problems. And that's really how you can start with like a fighter and make a really cool ranger out of it just by giving a fighter some of the ranger feats, or a wizard give them some of the sorcerer feats. Like it's really fun. It doesn't give them the core components of the class, but it gives them like some of the functionality, which is really neat. So I think that's an interesting way to do it. Okay. Let's roll some dice. $14. A lanky male Furbolg, Star Druid Fighter. Okay. Shirtless with constellations engraved, massive sword. Nice. I dig it. Okay. Sexy Furbolg boy. What color are we doing here? Purple? Sweet. End the poll. I remember liking the free archetype thing when reading over it. Yeah, I think it's really fun, and that's something that I've looked at a little bit with D&D, and sometimes with 5e. I'll just grant people other class features. Like that's a really fun way to like customize a character, especially if they're playing something like a bard and they want to be a little beefier. Give them second wind. Like it's really cool. Or if they are a fighter and they keep like risen up the party. Like, just give them 1 or 2 of, like, bardic inspiration point things. Like, that's really fun. Like, you can give it to them on armor or on weapons or, like, magical rings and stuff to kind of make it a little more customizable, like, if they don't want it. But forcing people to take warlock levels is really funny. And they usually end up keeping them. I've had a few people be like, that's dumb, I want to get rid of this. But they end up keeping them as this levels anyways. Because you don't really get to level 20 very soon anyways. So, it's not that much of a setback. I did get back into the art thing. I drew, was it Knight Hospitaller? I don't know what that word is. Maltese Knight? Is that a historical knight? Like their XG and their training is their other class. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with like the Barbaration. Hello. A Zorn Barbarian. That's not one that's been on the list for a while. I will add it. Okay. Beefy Furbolg, purple boy with a sword. Shape change is another fun one. Like, I really like the concept of a warlock, right? Like, that's the thing. And then I think that the concept... Wow, I said that weird. The concept of a warlock can really be branched out in a lot of different ways by, like, giving people druidic powers, like shape change, or giving them access to different spells that shouldn't be on their list and stuff. It didn't say beefy. It said lanky, didn't it? It did say lanky. But if you have a Furbolg without a shirt, Hospitaller, A member of a charitable religious order, originally the Knights Hospital. Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, is that where hospitality comes from? Or vice versa? 5:30 here in Australia. Oof. Go to bed. Unless you just woke up. How do you feel about playing monsters, not just orcs, but things like dragons, mimics, ogres, owlbears, etc.? No level adjustment. Start weak baby level up. I have let people do that in the past. My problem with it is I love it. Like, that's why I started the channel. Like, there's tons and tons of videos of me telling people to play monsters. I will generally have you start at the level of the base monster. So, like, if you want to play a bear, you usually start at level 3. Like, you get 3 levels in bear, and then you start stacking stuff on top of it. Because that way you get the flavor of the monster. So, like, you get the troll regeneration, you get the bear bite and multi-attack. You're taking the monster feats. If you want to start as a lower level thing, then it doesn't matter. Because, once again, you're not leveling up the monster levels. You're not getting the bear stuff. You'd just be taking, like, I'm a bear. I had someone play a horse ranger once, and that worked fine. It's just like because you're just taking the hunter or the ranger levels. Like, yeah, it doesn't really matter at that point. So if you started from level 0, you can play anything you want, and it has almost no effect on the game. So I'd want to be a raccoon after seeing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Yep, you could do that. Now the question is, Lordy, are you playing a raccoon to the point where you can't talk and are a raccoon and are tiny and don't have thumbs? Or are you playing Rocket? You're playing a raccoon folk. Because those are two very different things. Owlbear would just act like a bear from open season. And that's kind of the problem. I think that people are coming at with the game is like, if you want to play a bear, which I've done. I played Orrington Bear for a while. For the first, like, 5 or 6 levels, I couldn't talk. Like, my DM would let me talk to the party. But in-game, I could not talk. And so it ran into a whole bunch of really fun things that I had to deal with. And that's my big thing with monsters is if you want to play like a Minotaur or something, like, that's great as well. Or you want to play a Gorgon, like, the world around you has to act completely differently. Because otherwise it doesn't matter. So I just start them at something low enough to match the party. Yeah, essentially. So you can look at some things like if you want to play a dragon, yeah, you can have them start as a young dragon, but that's still, I think, basically they start with like 1 or 2 monster levels, and that gives them a whole bunch of stuff. Manticores might be like level 5 or 6. They might be level 8, so that would be a higher level. But if you do that, you give them all the stuff that they would get. And if you want to down level them, you will have to take away some of those monster feats. 3.5 had a pretty good book for telling you how to do this, but it goes back to basically how the monsters are made. And 5e, I don't think ever really had. I don't think it ever really gave you a list of the monster feats. I think they've kind of kept that a little close to the chest, comparatively to other editions. If someone knows where those are at, they might be in the DM guide. But I don't know if they are. What kind of hair should we go for this guy? Gotta make him real tall. I think furbolgs need like just really, really long necks. Mohawk? We do Mohawk. I keep forgetting Sword Raptor. Sword Raptor. Let me start as a shadow real quick. That could be fun. I've had someone play a ghost. Ghosts are good. I had 3.5 also had rules to buy off level adjustments. When you're high enough level, the monster features aren't as potent anymore. Like our levels. Yeah, a lot of level 20 creatures are actually like level 25 or 26. Because they have to fight something that is, has a group of 5. So like their constitution and ability stats scale differently. And so yeah, there's a little bit. It's almost always going to behoove you to start taking class levels. And if you are like playing a bear or something to that effect, at higher levels, it might be worth retraining some of those bear levels for, I don't need to be really good at sniffing around in nature anymore because I'm a level 15 monk. like there are points when you would want to do that. You kind of forget how to be a bear and start learning how to be a higher level thing. Shadow's a bit broken. Its stir drain is useful regardless of levels. Yeah. Same thing with like whites. Whites are really, really powerful and scary, even though they're low level. Drain is dangerous, which is why it's not really in 5e anymore. But like stat drain and ability damage in Pathfinder 1 was really, really, really mean. Which Furbolg do you reference when drawing them? Mercers or the old ones? The old ones are... they're just Vikings, and that's really boring. So I do Mercer. I really like Mercers. They feel more Fey-inspired. They're a little more bovine in nature, and I think that's really good. I think that has the Fey feel that they're supposed to have versus the... No, it's not doing it quite the way I want. Maybe we'll do like a soft mohawk here. Maybe pull it into a bun. Oop, that's not how arms work. This would need to go down and then come up. If he's got that. They are cow people, right? Not originally. Yeah, they were originally just Vikings. Like a lot of the giants were just looked like operatic Vikings. Big beards, spiked helmets. That's it. That was their design. And so then the storm giants and the storm giants, stone giants, like they all looked very, very similar and just had like a little bit of different clothing. The fire giants were probably the most unique because they were like more armored. But they didn't really look all that different. So the Furbolgs are supposed to be giants that basically spent a very long time in the Feywild, and they are supposed to be kind of warped by it, which I really dig. I really, really dig. So they went from being kind of more nature-esque, but Sylvan-based. Elf giants. Animals with fewer levels in rogues or fighter. Yeah, that could be really fun too. To never be thirsty. Wait, what? I don't know if I like the bovine part. At that point, I'd play a Minotaur or Satyr. Yeah, I think they're different. I'm not trying to make them look like a cow, right? But they do have that Fey kind of satyr quality, and I think that's a good way to look at it. But I don't give them horns. I just make them kind of furry, kind of fuzzy. So you see furbolgs as just mega satyrs? No. Nope. I just giant furries. Yep, they're just giant furries. Always an edgelord in games, and I like playing nobles. My games, like, is playing a noble a red flag? I don't know. That's debatable. Because it really depends on how you're playing it. Not just, like, no backstory is, like, the end-all, be-all edgelord thing. Because, like, everybody's parents have died in every game. And everyone's a secret prince or whatever. Like, those tropes are fun. They're fun to play. So I don't think it's necessarily one thing or another. You can be an edgelord with any background. I had a character play the God of Death once, so that was fun. That can be a lot of fun. Anytime something was dead around him, I'd just be like, hey, roll me this extra roll. He's like, what's that for? I'm like, don't worry about it. I want you to roll this. And now you know something weird about how this guy died. And you don't know why you know it. It's like, oh. Basically, when I do the furbolgs, like I said, because of the Mercer thing, like I like them being a little bit fuzzy, and I like giving them the ears, like the soft bovine ears, and that's about it. That's about all I give them. So. I instinctively want to give them long arms like a bugbear, and I think that's probably because I draw them fuzzy as well. They're giant bugbears, yeah. That's what I meant to say. It's just going to be a giant falchion. Giant moon falchion. Should we give him a beard? Maybe you should still eat a beard. Big who's? Yeah, I can see that. Could they be any different type of animals, like have doggo features? I mean, maybe. Since they are Fae-inspired, like, they really could be anything from nature. So that could be interesting. But it's just, you gotta be careful about not making them like an animal folk, right? That's really the thing that... Too many things just turn into were creatures or... There's nothing wrong with just animal creatures, animal folk. But, like, they should really be their own thing. Like, if they're not they're their own thing, then it's just reskinning something. Like, that's my problem with Leonids. Like, Leonids are just cat folk. They're just big cat folk. They're not different enough for me to care. Like... Same thing with the Owlins and, like, the Aarakocra. Like, Owlins are just a subset of Aarakocra. unless you want to go into like the Strix where they are kind of different, but mostly the same. Like harpy folk. Like, that's cool. I like that. Essentially, they're just owl people, though. Edgelord has a decent backstory. I mean, they all do. I think that's what makes them edgelords, right? The warehouse hunter. I've made a huge mistake. Yeah. Warehouse. Warehouse is pretty funny. If I use this fly spell on an elephant, I wonder if I could name him Dumbo. You probably, yeah. You can name him whatever you want. I just don't trust pink elephants. I wouldn't either. Community should definitely engage with the dog folk short. Yeah, right. Go watch the dog short. The dog short. I'm gonna make that into a why you should play. But I just wanted community feedback for kind of what people want to get out of a dog folk, because people kept telling me to go look up the Lupin, and I can't find anything. Like, it's a very obscure, like, 3.5 edition that I cannot find. I have the monster book and I can't find it in there, but people keep saying it's in there, so I don't know if it's like an urban legend that it exists. But there's apparently like one page of information about it that I keep finding online, and then people keep writing like all these different charts for like different kinds of dogs saying that it's official, and I can't find the official. They're all different too, so it's like I don't think that's real. Leonids are super redundant. Meanwhile, there's no dog race in 5e. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I was getting at. So it's like, why make 2 owl races and 2 cat races, but no dog race? So I wanna do that. I really want to try to get that video out before next month, which I got like 3 or 4 days left to do. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna try to get the script finished today, and then hopefully get it recorded tonight. And then hopefully put the video together tomorrow, and then we can have a video before the baby's born. Is this what they're looking at? Because that's not official at all. No. So yeah, there's a 5e wiki for the homebrew, but they're saying that there's a 1e and a 3.5 version, and I can't find them. I can't find them. There's apparently, and I think someone was saying that there was a Lupin race designed for one of the modules for 3.5 that was a race of people that were dog folk that hated werewolves. That was their only shtick for the whole campaign, was just like this weird subsect of were creatures that hated being referred to as were creatures and hated werewolves and hunted them. And so it's just like suspicious. Why dog race and not wolf race? Or is that general canines? And so that I think might be part of it. Someone was saying that dog folk doesn't make sense because dogs are essentially just domesticated wolves, and the wolf folk are essentially werewolves. Like, that already exists, right? So like, whatever. But with that, like, the tabaxi are the same way. Like, the domesticated cats being tabaxi is funny. So it's really strange. It's really strange. It's a strange thing for 5e to not have. There's also the anecdote of Guy Gax basically saying, like, I think Brandon Lee Mulligan might have talked about this too, and it might just be the anecdote, like I'm saying said, but that nobody wants to hurt a dog. So it's not fair to make the DM have to fight against a character who is a dog. But I've killed a lot of goblin dogs in my day, so I don't know if that's a good way to do it. Even goblin dogs, I guess, are giant rats, so who knows? That's rough, buddy. Oof. I can settle for dog shifter. I made a cowardice Rottweiler tavern keeper. That's pretty funny. But yeah, the shifter's, I think, another good step, but I still am not happy with the shifter. Dragon 325 and Castle Amber. That sounds right. I might have read that. I don't know. In honor of the latest short, Dogfolk Corgi Kensai monk dressed in traditional Scottish garb and wielding a greatsword. I'll put it on the list for you. We'll put it on the list for you. Paste. There it is. I might be thinking of this, a compendium. It's 3.5 compatible. Yeah, I saw this one too. And so that like loopness exists as a crux of duality, that I've seen many different places, which makes me think that there is somewhere like a one-page synopsis of them. But besides this like little page, I don't know where it exists. I do like that the alignments are all they're almost all lawful good or lawful chaotic because they're all good boys. That's my favorite part. I don't know if this guy's lanky enough. I'm also not super happy with the hand. I think we can do better. Pew. Let's try again. I'm drawing with too large of a pen, so it's causing a lot of fuzz, a lot of static. Give him a little more beard. When in doubt, draw it again. More beard. Yeah, I think we're going to give his body a little more. I'm not going to make him too bulky, but I'm going to make him a little bulkier and a little lankier. Just a little more body. And I think we're going to do something like this. I've been hitting the gym and my body hurts. That's good. I tried to walk a mile today, and I got about half a mile, and then I called it quits. Does the pain go away when your muscles get used to it, or will the gym forever be in pain? No, it eventually you get used to it. That's fine. The cool part about it is like you get a lot more muscular endurance, so you can keep going before your muscles start hitting that like pain spot, and eventually you'll get to a point where your muscles will fatigue but not hurt. So just you'll go, and then you'll just be like, whoop, I can't go no more. That's it. And then you're just kind of tired. And then like in 2 days your arms will hurt again. I'm gonna play as a giant pepper. Good luck. I don't know how you're gonna communicate with the world, but you know. Best of luck. Hopefully you don't get eaten by goblins. All Fey creatures have swirls. It's just how it goes. Do they have a dad bod though? Kratos vibes. I'm going to go fill up my water glass. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to draw the next one. Everybody hang tight. Oh, we need constellation on his sword. The power of the stars. Okay, hang tight, everybody. Be right back. I am back. Who thinks that dying in D&D creates character growth? I do. I think it's definitely a good story hook because that's something that, you know, we can't really do as is. So it's a fun thing to explore in D&D. As was foretold, I got distracted by rice and adobo chicken, so I may have to mute myself so you guys don't hear smacky mouth noises. But I was going to move on to the next one, but I kind of want to make this guy a little taller. Nah, I think I'm done. Let's shade him up a little bit. We'll call it good. I missed my, I forgot to draw yesterday. So I have to start my daily sketch diary over. It was on day 670. And I forgot one. Forgot to do it. Last time I forgot, it was like day 1700 or something, and I was just like, no. And this time it's like, meh. Whatever. The important thing is that I'm drawing every day. Nope. Sorry, Cosmic. If you like the old one, you gotta go screenshot it. Them's the breaks. I only keep the ones I likes. Let's roll some dice. I've lost it. I've lost the die. What the list? Where'd the list go? What? Uh-huh. There it is. Huh? 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 6. A very human armored artificer who specializes in grappling. Oh, it says variety human. Does that mean like the versatile heritage? What is a variety human? Like a human with a whole bunch of different human traits? Like 2 different kinds of hair? What's that mean? Grapple fighter. I like it. He lost the sacred text, yeah. Blue! We're doing blue this time, alright. Purple. Likely variant. Yeah, I assume it was meant to be a variant, but like even with that, like, how do you draw a variant human? Like, what makes them different? It's just a human with a free feet. Yeah, just draw me a human with a free feet. Okay. Grappler, human, armor. Here we go. If you were a grappler, would you wear a helmet? I feel like it might get smacked around. But also having a spiked helmet seems like a good idea. Maybe like a Daredevil helmet? That could be interesting, like a mask. Out of curiosity, do you read those before you make the list? Yeah. Like I copy them all from the YouTube thing. Community post. Tis a human with 3 feet. You say free feet or 3 feet? I gotta go. Grapplers and boxers kind of have different builds. You know what? Let's go. Yeah, no, that's good. So a grappler, he's going to need to put his head down, so probably don't need the chin guard. Not worried about lances. Do want more of a back neck cover, though, in case you get thrown on the ground. And we're going to cover everything in spikes. Bowser. Looks like a plumber. It's from Mike McAir and Dragon325, November 2004. Will you remove that from the Discord so we don't get copyright pinged? People like to go after people posting PDFs in the Discord. So YouTube crashed, so it would give you an excuse for more ads. That'll happen. I dream of one day making a fighter game using D&D characters as fighters. Like the iconic characters? Like you want to have a fighting game with Dritz? Or you just want a PvP D&D game? I'm gonna try to channel Marv from Sin City. Is it Marv? Merv? The hell's this guy's name? Big blocky dude. I feel like by the time that happens, I'd have to pay Crit Roll to have them in the game. You could definitely hire them. The Beholder Fighter would be OP. I mean, fighting games are weird. Like, traditional fighting games. Because you have, like, the God of Lightning and then frickin' whatever the hell Bison is. Why can he float? I don't know why he can float. Got freaking six-armed subterranean demons and fighting movie stars. Super psionic. think we need bigger. More armor. More beef. What if Ryu was a D&D character? Smaller mouth. There we go. That's better. Sun Soul Funk, yeah. Sun Soul Monk Fighter class would work. Dalsim is essentially a Eldritch Eldritch Warlock. Stretching his arms out and stuff. Black tentacle. Blah, blah, blah. There's definitely a lot of those, like how to play X person in D&D. That's why I never started making those videos. But I really think there's an argument to be made that like you can make pretty much anything with D&D characters. You just have to flavor it right. And you can definitely make monks and crap, what's the word I'm looking for? Boxers? I don't know, like just really classical fighting type characters like Ryu. I don't know what you would call him. I was going to say like a fighting champion, but that doesn't sound right. MMA fighter with like cleric or with warlock, and then you would just flavor all of your, my spiritual weapon. I'm just going to punch this guy so hard that it makes my fist go through his body, i.e. I cast spiritual weapon behind him and punch him, right? Like, like all of those things can be flavored in a way that are I'm going to Hadouken that guy, which is my spiritual weapon. Mechanically it works. Thematically it just seems a little weird. It's a little bit of a stretch. I made Bob Ross. Nice. They're adding the like Pictomancer or whatever to Final Fantasy 14. And I'm just waiting for people to make Bob Ross clamors. It's gotta happen. Sun Soul Funk just makes me think of a glamour bard multi-monk. Monk multi-class. Multi-monk. It is I, the multi-monk. I don't know, I can't read today. My brain is just out of it. Performer that makes his own light show. That would be pretty cool, actually. If you need to reflavor anything to make a concept work, In my opinion, it doesn't work. Yeah, I completely disagree with that. Flavor is the key to everything. The mechanics are there to support whatever it is you want to make. And in my mind, like, the flavor just doesn't matter. Which has always kind of been my problem with, like, the Lawful Stupid Paladin. It's just like, you don't have to do that. Like, so many cool things can be paladins that aren't religious zealots. Mechanically, exactly the same. Flavorfully, completely different. And those are the kind of characters I love seeing. I love seeing, like, really unique takes on things that don't really affect the mechanics. There's a lot of min-maxing is people trying to, like, squeeze out extra damage or, like, fundamentally break the game. Cough, cough, D&D shorts. Get out of here. You can do a lot. You can do a lot with just reflavoring something. Whoops, I lost my color. Was I supposed to switch the color to blue? I feel like this was supposed to be blue. I'll do a blue one after this. That's my bad. I got distracted by getting a drink and getting lunch. Here's a weird question. Is sumo grappling? Is sumo considered a grappling sport? Flavor is what makes anything not need rolling math rocks? I don't know about that. I see the dichotomy of them. Flavor shouldn't affect your math rocks. I need better bones, not better makeup. I feel like we're arguing the same point. Like, the flavor does not matter for the mechanics. The mechanics need to be there for balancing purposes. And as long as everything mechanically is balanced, the game can be fun. The flavor is superfluous at that point, and it is just for fun. I'd say you gotta grab the sumo. I've seen them grapple. Okay. You should not try to pin somebody in sumo. I'm trying to push them out of the ring, or make them fall over. But I don't know if that considers it a grappling sport. I don't know what you would consider sumo. But that's the vibe I'm getting right here. Just a big armored sumo. I think I was thinking of E Honda just slapping the shit out of that car. Now I got E Honda on the brain for character design. My sleeves got ripped off. I don't got time for sleeves. He's got to have big old meaty mitts. Corvus, welcome in. Why does he look like he has spider plate mail? What is spider plate mail? Oh, that does look like a spider. I didn't see it.
Fine Art wears.
Yeah. It does look like his armor is a spider. I will change the mandibles up.
So, according to Wikipedia, sumo is a type of grappling martial art system.
Cool.
So
we're on the right track. How goes it?
It goes. I think I don't want to put words in your mouth or anything, or assume you're thinking this, but maybe you're thinking that like grappling is like primarily binding.
Yeah,
like,
that is what I was thinking. Like, when you say grappling sports, I think of wrestling
or like
judo, maybe
collegiate wrestling.
Yeah, collegiate wrestling or judo. That's what I think of when I think of grappling. Like with the intent of either upturning or pinning your opponent as being the main goal. With D&D, like you and I have talked about like armor spikes, right? Like that's fun. But you're still just trying to grab the other opponent, like grab and bind.
Because I guess there is like different ways of looking at grappling. Like there's submission grappling.
Okay.
Which is like you wrap your body around someone's joints and lock them into place.
Yep.
While like sumo would be more or less you're grabbing them and throwing them to the ground.
Yeah. I was watching some stuff about MMA, and there's some people out there that like basically use holds that could fundamentally just like break people's limbs, and it's like, should that be allowed or not? Oh, it's kind of weird because I mean, like that's the debate, because it's like technically that's part of it, but is that too brutal of a thing? And I think a lot of those holds are illegal, but there's still a few that's just like creepy and dangerous.
If I just flex my leg muscles, I could pop your arm out of its socket.
Spider plate might actually be preferred for grappling. I was thinking about that, yeah. Just like covered in spider webs. You ain't getting away from me. Whenever I think of wrestling, even though I'm thinking about like collegiate wrestling, I always go to Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Cream of the crop.
Yep. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
You think you can handle this? I'm gonna tie you into a pretzel. Just like... The boulder is conflicted.
I also think of the boulder. The boulder is no longer conflicted. I have come into a conundrum, though. Before I hopped in, I was trying to figure out... I'm just building another gunslinger just because.
Because you should, yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out, should I invest in armor or just wear explorer's clothing?
Interesting.
Because my dex is high, because firearms are based off your dex, because they're ranged attacks. And so I have really high dex, but also have pretty high strength, because I was going like way at the vanguard, so like we're using big heavy two-handed guns. So it's just
you could go heavy armor and just artillery it, you know?
Yeah, I was like, I would have to like either take the sentinel feat, or not feat, but archetype to get heavy armor, because already start with medium, and it's just like, is it worth it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like at some point,
going pure AC,
because there's the dex build for armor, right? And then with the armor cap for armor, there's eventually going to be like a limit, but then you gain the armor. So it's like, at what point would you have more, 1 or 2 more points of armor for like 2 bulk? Might not be worth it in my mind, but really depends. You could argue that guns should be wisdom based, as aim is more precision than finesse. I still think that makes wisdom, like, because concentration is constitution. Like, how well you can focus on something. I don't know if that's wisdom based. I honestly, like, this goes back to the you should be able to use whatever skill you want for whatever you're doing, because you can do that different ways.
Yeah.
Like, I want to use my intelligent with my gun to know where to shoot somebody. And it's just like, is it a heavy gun? Maybe you should be using your strength to aim. So.
Yep. Because I wanted them to be a dwarf, and I was giving them the dwarven scattergun, which is an advanced weapon, but dwarves can have it as a martial weapon.
Okay. Is that a shotgun? Or is it like a blunderbuss? Does it take cartridges, or can you stick anything in it?
I don't think you can stick anything in it. It does. So it's more or less you're firing grape shot.
Okay.
I assume you know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah. I really want to rebuild my kobold gunslinger one of these days and play him. Just a kobold with 2 shotguns. It's just,
yeah, that would definitely probably be like a blunderbuss, because both the blunderbuss and the scattergun have the scatter trait, which whenever you hit your target, it does splash damage.
Nice. All I can imagine this guy saying is like, I'm going to pop your head like a watermelon. It's like, oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
Did you get Game of Thrones throwbacks?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think about that. I'm sorry.
It's
sorry
fine.
for TV trauma.
My first ever favorite character in Game of Thrones.
They all die. It's fine.
Yep. Which does not make good storytelling.
No.
Mr. Martin.
All I'm saying, if you really want to kill somebody, don't wait for the poison to do it. Just kill him. Just kill him. This is not advice for any real people, only for fantasy book characters.
Yep.
Okay, I think I'm done with this guy. This guy looks a little deranged. Time for the grabby squeezy. It's like, oh no.
Reminds me of that one, like, German boxer from Rocky.
Yeah.
Or was he Russian? I don't remember.
Ooh, yeah, I think he was Russian.
I just know he was tall, blonde, and a mountain, basically.
He's a big dude. He's a big dude. Elliot, I see what you're saying. Yes, some people survive through the stories. The books have not yet finished. But to counterpose your point, yeah. 2 of those people pretty much died. So, touche, but also take that. You've drawn the human version of the strangler. You want to fight? I'm gonna get real grabby. What's the guy from Disenchanted? I don't know if you guys have seen Disenchanted. It's the weird cartoon Matt Groening made on Netflix. It's pretty funny.
I think I watched like 5 episodes of it.
It gets a little weird, but One of the characters is like an old blind guy that just likes to. I think his name's Feely. Just like
No.
he can see anything with his fingers. Is the joke, and he's just really creepy. The show is a little weird. Okay. I think I'm done with this one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to... Hold on a second. Sorry I haven't made it through book 2 and I only finished season 1. Just assume every single character will die. 100%. Just assume that and you will not be disappointed. If you've only watched the TV show, there's a ton of just weird shit that is not in the books and vice versa. So, some of my favorite characters in the books aren't in the show at all. Most of them die. What's the other weird one? Some of the characters that I really like die and then come back as different characters, and that doesn't happen in the show at all. So that's a super bummer.
Yep.
There was something I was
and
thinking.
The one character that they bring back, no one really cares about.
Yeah. All right, I'll be right back. 1 second. Hang tight. Okay. What did I miss?
Not much.
I can see someone like Discworld, which is killing someone off and making sure they did by making sure the character's art were wrapped up. Oh, waiting for the character art to wrap up and then killing him. Yeah. Elliot, you got a lot of books to go through. John is probably my favorite character, which is like boring, but also fine. Actually, that's not true. I think my favorite character is Dolores Ed. Yeah. Another 6, which is now an auto gnome that looks like an old diver helmet with an octopus on the side. Is it just the helmet? All right, this one's going to be blue, and then we'll do the purple for the next one. All right, auto gnome. Here we go.
Auto gnomes roll out.
We were talking about Magic the Gathering card decks and the Bee Wizard, which is one of Jump Rope's old D&D characters. And we've made a deck around the Bee Wizard, and we were talking about something in relation to that. I can't remember what it is. But we need a good Magic the Gathering card that would be the Bee Wizard. Like, it was a Magic deck first, and then became a theoretical D&D tune. Okay. Can't remember what brought that up the other day, but I've been trying to find a basically like a commander or a character card that would do like 1 damage to stuff, kick the hornet's nests per se. Can't figure it out just yet. Is this one of those situations where the octopus is actually controlling the robot? It's an auto gnome being piloted by an octopus. Inviting a bee holder or something. I don't know. I don't play D&D. No, he's got a point. Oh, we watched the Beekeeper movie. The movie is silly.
Man?
What?
I don't know. I was gonna say, are you referring to the thing where you're like, not the bees?
No. That's Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
The movie's called The Beekeeper.
Oh.
It's a Jason Statham movie where he just goes around and punching people.
Interesting.
This old lady gets scammed by crypto bros, and so he decides to go punch them all. Beekeeper, the movie. I just described it to you. You're welcome. Now you don't need to see it. How do you make a bee wizard in other games? Yeah. It was a bad movie. Fun, funny, but not exactly good. Fair enough.
I am not finding a lot of bee cards.
Right. That's why I think it's got to be something not necessarily that is bee related, but like bee functionally related. Like it's got to sting people or something. I don't know. Wouldn't an insect mage just be like the guy from Naruto, or is it at least Tyler from Worm? I don't know what Taylor from Worm means. But I know what you're talking about, the guy from Naruto. Like, it's essentially, there's a lot of spells like that in 2nd edition, like Vomit Swarm and stuff.
Yep.
I think Caduceus also for Critical Role had like used his spiritual weapon to put bees in his staff. Like that kind of works too. So yeah.
Yeah, his staff was like Staff of Infestation or something like that.
Yeah.
And he also like used his Spirit Guardians and flavored them as like spectral beetles.
Mm-hmm. Negan be a paladin? Well, it's like this is what I was talking about earlier. Like you could make an argument for most people being everything. So
Yep.
you could say Negan was a paladin, even though he's just kind of a piece of shit. He could also just be a barbarian or a fighter. Or a wizard that can cast baseball bat.
S Fist.
I read almost all of The Walking Dead. Up to the point where Negan showed up and then I just stopped caring. Wasp Queen in there? Is there a Wasp Queen? Yeah, I think we have a Wasp Queen. Work is a darkish superhero web novel. Taylor's the main character and her power was controlling bugs. Ah. Sorry, I was looking something up. Zero the Golden Sting. What the hell? Dominaria United Commander. When did that come out? Black, red, green, huh? Well, that's terrifying.
In a good way or in a bad way?
When Zero the Golden Sting attacks, put an egg counter on another target creature without an egg counter on it. When that creature dies, and it has an egg counter on it, draw a card and create a 1/1 black insect creature token with flying. So you basically lay your eggs in people. That's scary.
Ew. And they're even like a bee or wasp lady looking thingy.
When did that set come out? It's 20 cents. But it is the wrong color. For the most part. Movie series that went on longer than they should have. It's been a good time. Oh, yeah. We've been watching weird, bad movies.
Came out 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
In September.
I think the B deck is mono green. I'd have to check. It's a very mean deck because it's just flying Death Touch, which is not fun to deal with. I don't like Autognome having feet. I don't know why. Just like them being on little spindles. And World of Warcraft is showing. Boop.
What about? I don't know if this one will help you or anything, but
Nifty Official, hello. Skittering Swarm Lord. You play a land and cast an insect spell. Oh, you may play lands and cast insect spells from your graveyard. Holy crap. Whenever another insect you control dies, put it on the bottom of the owner's library, and then mill 2 cards. Target insect gets +1/+0 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. That is really, really good. It's 5 mana, which is rough, but like that's a B deck is mechanically mono green, though technically Pit Fight is a multicolored card. Yeah. I think I actually found a better Pit Fight, but it's still really good. Zira Urn might be in play. Is there another version of that card I should look at?
there's an older version from Chronicles.
Okay, that's probably not a commander. Is it the same everything else?
No, you pay 1 black, 1 red, 1 green, and target player draws a card.
Ah. Zask looks pretty good, though. You should put that on the B deck. Don't touch me! I inadvertently made I made a bard. I made a bard that is a tiny little Leshy. And he's like a fire Leshy. So like him getting lit on fire is good. I mean, it's not great, but like he's fine with it.
Yep.
And
you're basically a redwood.
Yeah. And it essentially turned into my character just walking around yelling at people not to touch him, and then they'd attack him and get hurt. and it's the funniest thing that I didn't actually intend to be the case. And so he's kind of a weird support tank in that he's just like, he kind of wants to get hit, kind of wants to get lit on fire. It's very strange. It's very, very strange. But it's fun. I'm really enjoying Bard for Pathfinder. What time is it? 1:30? Wait, we're doing all right. I think I'm done with this one. I'm going to go ahead and roll the next one. Little octopus autognome. I feel like the octopus is too angry. Octopi need to be really derpy. Or super dumb. Maybe the eyebrows. I think the eyebrows are too much. Still like the idea of the octopus controlling it. Yeah. Living Hive, huh? Whenever Living Hive deals combat damage to a player, put that many 1/1 green insect tokens into play. That one's mean. That one's mean. But it is an 8, or yeah, it's an 8 drop.
Yeah.
Still, like, the other weird part of that is it's an elemental. It's like a bug elemental, I guess. It might be worth having one of those in the deck, though. It's just like I win the game now. Deal with my bug swarms, or concede.
Stupid question. Can you attack with tokens? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
So tokens are essentially just summoned. Like a card itself that is a creature has the affix of creature. So like it's a permanent card that is a creature card. A token is just any generated card. So if you generate a card that is like an insect, a 1/1 insect, it's technically a creature token. So it's still a creature card, but it just has that affix. And the only difference is when it dies, it goes to the graveyard, touches the graveyard for mechanical purposes, because that's a thing, and then it just stops existing. So that's basically like if we were playing in Pathfinder, it has the token affix on it.
Okay.
It is still permanent.
Like a summon creature that deapparates once it's.
Yeah, it does not stay in your graveyard, but it does touch the graveyard for purposes of like when a creature dies, it dies and then disappears.
Yeah.
You like your octopi hyper intelligent? Yeah. Octopuses are weird because they are intelligent creatures, but they have a very different type of intelligence than we do, which is cool. I hear cat eating. Don't watch cat. It's fine. I hope that. Actually, that's probably skip cat food. He probably shouldn't eat that, but whatever. My kidney's going to be real good. Let's roll some dice. It's basically a card that doesn't leave a card behind. Yeah. I think I explained that. This one? Yep. I've just rolled 3 6s in a row. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried. Bonjour, Raven Engineer Head. Raven Engine? It says Raven/Engine. Engine Head. Warforged Brawler Barbarian Dude. Big and scary, have fun.
So like.
What is a Raven Engine Head?
So I guess maybe its head is kind of like an engine, but shaped like a raven head.
Maybe a raven like Native American? I'm going to type in verbatim raven/engine and see what Google says. A 420cc Raven electrical start engine. What could Google have, or YouTube have, auto-corrected engine from? It is a Warforged, so like maybe it is a. Okay, well, whatever. Let's draw a Warforged. Maybe make it bird related. I don't know what. And maybe put pistons on it. What color are we doing now? Purple. We're gonna go with this. We'll figure it out. It's an infernal themed.
I tried to find it in the suggestions, but I found it.
Raven-headed Warforged. Oh, I don't know how they would hit the slash instead of H, but that could be. It could be.
Maybe they were typing on a phone. I don't know if slash would be like the alternative to H.
Yeah.
Raven/engine head Warforged brawler.
Right?
Barbarian dude.
I'm pretty sure that's Bionic.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bionic always says bonjour. And asks for beefy brawler boys.
Yep.
Not to call you out. It's in the public domain. You can check it out. But, yeah, I don't get that. Yeah.
Rook will do the best he can.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't surprise me if Engine Head is like a character that I just don't know. What's wrong, Cat? Did you eat all the bad food and now you want more because you think you get it secretly without telling me? I know you still have a bunch of food over there by the food bowl. Yeah. Nope.
What? No, I don't.
You can't eat any more Skip Cat's food today. I've been on mobile this whole time. The mistake is putting autocorrect. Engine head. Yep, no idea. We're just going to go with it. We could call Bionic out, like ping him in the Discord and be like, "The fuck, man? Don't do that. Don't do that, anybody. Don't worry about it."
It's fine.
The drawing has already started. I will figure it out. Should we alienate the chat by talking about Helldivers or food?
Why not both?
How to cook a bug. I was at the store yesterday, and the guy behind me was just making like idle chat with the cashier, and they were talking about like they only sell small boxes of like honey bunches of oats or whatever the hell cereal he was trying to buy. And he's like, I can't find the big boxes. She's like, yeah, I can't find the specific type of flour I'm looking for. Oh, what the hell was it?
Cricket flour.
Well, it was she was looking for soy flour. And he's like, soy flour? That's ridiculous. And I'm like, I mean, you could buy cricket flour. And they both looked at me like I was insane. And I was like, this is a thing. You can absolutely buy cricket flour from Amazon. Like, get it.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I would rather eat mud. And I was just like, okay. It's just like, that's fair. It was a really kind of a weird, just off the cuff conversation I had with random people.
As a person who has ate crickets before, not that bad.
You made cricket cookies yet?
No. They were just like whole crickets with like a dusting of sour cream and onion flavor on them.
Yeah. Turns out you can eat anything if it tastes like ranch.
Basically.
You eat the bug? Real men watch the automatons. Yeah. Oh, man. The problem with the automatons right now is, like, they're always in defense mode. So, like, when it's in defense, it's, like, 3 or 4 levels higher than it should be. So, like, we were playing on 6, and we got freaking wrecked. We still beat it, but, like, ugh. So frustrating. So frustrating. Eat the automatons. Yeah, I mean, if you want. I don't usually bring the flamethrower, but like it's an option. You can do it. Do the automatons not have squishy parts? Like, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, never mind. That sounds really strange now that I think about it.
I guess, are you asking if they're cyborgs or are they fully robotic?
Well, in the old game they were cyborgs. But in the new game, they are just robots. But what I'm asking is specifically like the bugs have body parts, armored parts, usually like their head, like a crest, and then squishy parts, which is their butt. The automatons have red glowy dots that is their head, armored body parts, and then sometimes like a glowy backpack and vents. Do the vents count as squishy parts for means of explosive damage? You need more iron in your diet. Inferno, that is the smallest comic I've ever seen in my life. I cannot read that. Cat, you're fine. I literally just saw you eat food. I talked to this is old man grumble time now.
Oh, no.
I talked to a customer service person this morning. And the first thing they said to me was, hello, we're going to send you a survey after this. And I was just like, go fuck yourself. And I'm like, nope. I need to not be upset when I talk to this person. And I just like, what a weird way to start with, hello, I hear you have a problem. We're going to give you more work. It's like, that's not what I want. I want you to solve my problems.
Yeah.
The rocket pods go boom when shot, at least. That's not me this time. That's fair. Because, I mean, yeah. And I assume that rockets do both piercing and explosive damage. I think that's how it's calculating it. The Helldiver team, like dev team, I think they're doing a lot of really good stuff. But it's not very transparent, is my problem with it. There's still a lot of guesswork out there.
Not super intuitive.
Yeah, because you would think that shooting the giant rampaging bug in the butt would be the fastest way to kill it. per the rules of video game. But that is not the case. That is not the case. And that frustrates me. Same thing with the big giant explodey butt bile dudes. You'd think, oh, shoot the big glowy butt. But when you do that, it explodes and kills you. And it's like, oh, whoops. I'm supposed to shoot them in the head. But you need armor-piercing rounds to do that. Otherwise, you have to blow up and kill yourself. I guess that's the way it is.
Oopsie-daisy.
TikToks. Oh, TikToks. Robot birds. He's gonna explode. I can feel it. Oh man, that was pretty funny, Inferno. I shouldn't have watched that on stream, but it was pretty funny. Yeah, there's some jank going on there. Let's finish this bird main.
Oh, Jeebus.
What's up?
I was watching the video.
Oh yeah. It's so weird when you're fighting one of those chargers and like for some reason you hitting it makes it desync. And so like you'll blow its head off and then you're standing here and it's running at you and it will just like do the death animation and like stop moving and then just like and then die and it's just like what just happened? Like what's going on? Like just power slide at you after they die.
Yep.
Because I assume
this thing.
Yeah, there's they have like death throws. Well, some of the bugs do where like once you kill them they'll still do like one more charge. And I think what's happening is the animation isn't loading. Because so it'll play the original death animation, but then it's still gonna do that charge. And it's just like, what's happening? Nothing makes any sense.
All according to plan.
Yep. How do we trick the humans? I have an idea. What if we just break the game on purpose? It's like, don't do that. Oh, Jesus.
Get some help.
I don't know what just happened. Okay. Well, Aggie just crashed. Okay. Well, we have to wait a minute. We'll see what happens.
Aggie desynced.
Yeah. Hey, we heard you talking about us. We don't like that.
Heard you were talking shit about us.
I was watching Philip DeFranco yesterday, and I think they were talking about like AI. AI servers are now taking up like 4% of our power grid usage. And it's like, that's not good. Like, so much so that like Apple and Google are planning on building on-site nuclear reactors just to power those. And it's like, I don't think we should be dedicating power stations to the AI. I think that's a bad idea. Like, we need a hard line shut off, like just cut the cable type thing.
Yep. I agree.
It's like I was trying to make a joke about 12 Monkeys.
Like, I don't know enough about 12 Monkeys to even get the joke.
Okay, 12 Monkeys is like a time travel.
Yeah.
Time travel movie where Bruce Willis goes back in time to try to stop these like super zombie Ebola monkeys from escaping and killing everybody. So I was gonna say something like It's like teaching the Ebola monkeys how to farm their own food. It's like, yeah, we don't want that. Like, don't give the thing that could possibly kill everybody a way to just proliferate itself. That's bad. That's a bad strategy.
Yeah, I always was wondering, what are the monkeys of the 12 monkeys? I don't get it.
I mean, I can ruin the movie for you. It's like a 30-year-old movie, so I don't really mind ruining it for you.
But you basically explained what the monkeys were.
Yeah.
I never understood what... Like, I understood it was time traveling. I never understood what was, like, why it was happening.
Yeah, essentially, like, there was a huge plague and killed, like, 90% of the population of the Earth. And then there's this, like, 10% of the population that was just immune. And so they start taking people, and they can send back one person in time for, like, a week. I don't exactly remember how that worked, but they were sending Bruce Willis back in time to try to stop this outbreak. And I think at the end of the movie, eventually it turns out that him going back in time brought the virus with them. Or something to that effect. It was one of those weird, like, bootstrap films where they kind of caused their own problem. But there was a cult of people that wanted the plague to happen, called the 12 Monkeys, I think, is where the name comes from. Because there was a people studying Ebola, or whatever the hell it was. I think it was Ebola. I should watch that movie. I remember it being good, but it was.
I know they made a TV show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a couple years back on Sci-Fi.
We just watched The Creator, I think it was called, which is a movie about basically robots. Like, the United States declares war on robot AI, and so they're trying to, like, it doesn't matter. But the problem with it, like, there's a lot of, like, very fundamental holes in the plot. And it's like, if you just completely forego all the plot holes, it's a really good movie. It's like, sounds like 28 Days Later's premise for Outbreak without time travel. Yeah. I mean, 28 Days was essentially just a what if zombie movie, but not actually zombies.
I was gonna say, is that the one with the zombie baby in it, which kind of freaked me out?
No, that was Day of the Dead, the remake. House of the Dead. I don't remember.
I think it may just be called Day of the Dead.
I think it is just a remake of Day of the Dead, or it might have been Dawn of the Dead, but it was a remake of one of those two. Because Dawn of the Dead was the original, and then Day of the Dead was the sequel. I think they remade Day of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead. Zombie baby. Know what you're talking about. Very creepy.
Yep. Like, I hate this on so many levels.
Did you get bit? No. What are you talking about? You got bit? No, I'm fine.
I'm also not a particularly big fan of zombie movies anyways.
I'm a fan of biblical zombies. Like, I'm not a fan of the rage zombies that were from 28 Days Later. Because they're not really... It's not really a zombie movie. It's just like a rage virus. And it's like, I like it when it's kind of mysticism and hot garbage.
So Rainbow and the Serpent?
I don't know what that is. Is that a zombie movie?
I think it is. I just know it gets referenced in zombie movies. Good. It's like...
I think like Kingdom was really good. It was just like a fungus or something.
Oh, yeah. That is the one zombie thing I do like.
Yeah. I like it when the zombies, when it's something that's happening in nature, like it's like an act of God that's causing it, versus Resident Evil, like, oops, we found a thing. And it's like, all right. So a lot of people have been upset because like Umbrella didn't make it supposedly in the newer games. But I actually kind of like that better. I like it. I like the new version better, where it's this weird old thing that already existed, and Umbrella was just like fucking around with it.
And they found out.
Yep.
They're going to get you, Barbara.
Sound of Thunder was an interesting movie story idea if you know it. Time travel and undoing its ramifications. Yeah, I didn't see that one. We need a zombie movie that's actually just attacked by necromancers, like living wizards. Yeah, that could be fun. I always never liked, nice way to say it, 28 days after realizing it would have died out too quickly. Yeah, like that's the biggest, like that's the same thing with 28 days later and 28 weeks later. Like there's a lot of plot holes that just don't make a lot of sense. And there's like, that's an interesting zombie movie, but it's kind of a stupid movie. That's just like is my problem. And so I was always really mad at it. It's probably one of my least favorite zombie genre movies. This book is full of spiders has a pretty good zombie vibe to it. It's a good book. I just finished Lord of the Rings again, so I need to find a new book to read.
Or one of the many Discworld books.
I actually have one. I have a physical copy of the first Discworld book right next to me, and I don't remember where I got it from. Maybe from a yard sale or something? So I might do that. I might start the Discworlds.
I've heard mostly good things about it.
I mean, it's Terry Pratchett, which I like Terry Pratchett. So. Things in my YouTube feed keep popping up for Mistborn. I'm trying to remember the author of Mistborn, but...
Oh, God. I can't remember his name, but he writes. So
Sanderson? Is it Sanderson?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like Stephen King for fantasy books.
Oh, interesting.
He puts out so much stuff.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
That's what I mean, like Stephen King, because Stephen King puts out like 3 books a year, or at least used to, or more.
Cocaine will do that. Yep. Cat. Can you guys hear this cat?
No. At least I can't. I heard them earlier.
I will give you pets. You're welcome to hang out. But screaming will not get you food. It just won't. You have like double your daily amount of food in a bowl. You just have to go look at it. You just gotta go look. He's not gonna go look. In the book, 28 Days Later... Oh, in the book, 28 Days, the zombies start forming a society. Oh, alright. Because the bleeding out would have killed the zombies too quickly. Oh, yeah, because, like, they're people, right? Like, it's super weird. I really liked we were just talking about it. The Walking Dead. Like, the Walking Dead comic I really enjoyed for a while. But I liked the concept was essentially that everybody was infected. And so it wasn't actually anything to do with, like, the zombies spreading a virus. It's that everybody was infected with this virus, and when you die, you turn into a zombie. And it's just like, oh. Like, that's why they're the Walking Dead. Because they're already infected. They're already dead. Yeah. They are the ones who's left. Which is kind of a cool take. Cool take on the zombie survival. But
both the show and the comic were really popular here in my state because the guys who wrote it are from Kentucky.
That's fair. I did not like the show. I'll just put that up.
Fair. I never really. I only time I ever really watched it was when my roommate had it on in the background.
Yeah. Carl. The comics were really, 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 really dark, and I feel like the show was just a little more like sensationalism than actual dark commentary. And so I was not a big fan of it. But they're also like, once you get past like the third or fourth season of the show, it almost like it's just super diverted from the book. So, no, not super diverted, but like the characters feel different enough that I don't think it really matters at that point.
Yeah. Very much kind of becomes its own thing.
Didn't I Am Legend do that? Yeah. So I Am Legend it's technically a zombie movie, but the book is more of like a vampire movie. Super weird. Super weird. But I Am Legend is also the book is very different. It's a short story. It's a short story. But it's a short like horror story about how this guy is a monster, not zombies. So the movie was kind of a weird diversion anyways.
It's a man and his dog.
Yeah. I'm the monster here.
I guess it is both vampire related and a bit zombie related that I've always kind of wanted to like sit down and watch. It's called Strain.
Okay, I think I heard about that. Right, like that's like
it was like an FX show. It's kind of like they take the premise of vampires and turn them into like a zombie plague.
Oh, I thought that was the one where like the vampires were like not genetically engineering, like harvesting blood from people as a business model.
Oh no.
That might be something else then. I might be thinking of something else.
I think that's a movie. Strain is a TV show.
Okay.
That FX did. It has Sean Astin in it.
Okay. Yep, I don't know what that is then. I might have mixed up 28 Days Later and I Am Legend. It's very possible. That is a movie. Okay. I Am Legend was Omega Man. They were literally from the same book. Oh, that's right. That's right. It was a book of short stories. They liked one of the stories and the name of one of the other stories, and made the movie out of that. I Am Legend isn't a bad movie though. I mean, it's not great, but like, I think my favorite scene from that movie is him yelling at the mannequin. Like, that's a great scene. Just like being so alone and by yourself, and all of a sudden, like your weird mannequin friends start moving, and you just have a little bit of hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Why the fuck are you outside?
It weirdly reminds me of Umbrella Academy.
That wasn't bad. I watched Umbrella Academy. It's another one of those shows that likes to shake the snow globe, and I am not a fan of that kind of writing. What if instead of conflict resolution, we just start over? What? Just kidding, time travel! It's like, okay. This is what I like to call lazy writing. I think I'm done with this one. Weird bird cyborg thing. I suppose that's how I felt when I first saw the Weeping Angels in Doctor Who. Living statues made me always double check. Yeah. It's a great concept. It's impossible. Like, I don't like it mechanically. Oh my god, cat, chill the fuck out. What's wrong with you? Because one, like, how did you walk into a room with this thing if it's going to eat you? Two, why do doors stop it? Like, you should almost always see this thing, like, manipulating objects around you. And, like, yeah. Mechanically, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's really creepy as like a thought process. I don't really get why people say multiverses and time travel are confusing until I see the ways writers use them. At least plot holes are simple. Retcons not always. Yeah, like, I'm a big fan of linear time travel. So, like, if you go back in time to do something, you've already done it. Like, this point exists in your timeline. I'm not a fan of branching timelines. Which is a lot of, like, you know, we can go back in time and change things. It's like, no, you can't. Like, time travel exists. If time travel exists, it's already happened. So, you go with branching. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Back to the Future is great. I love Back to the Future. But, like, I have to just accept that I think it's bullshit. Right? So, that is really more close to, like, a multiverse thing than not. Like, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is a great one. We just have to remember to put a key here later. Dude! It's so good. But that doesn't necessarily make a good story. Like, it can. But yeah, bootstrapping is really fun. I like bootstrapping. If you go back in time and give somebody something, did you create it or did they create it? Time travel is hard. It can be hard. Dresden Files way with the law of conservation of history. Yeah. Yeah, branching can be interesting. It's just, it gets really complicated. Like, what the hell was it? Tomorrow War? Is that what it was? That was a stupid movie. But at least they tried. At least they tried to make one. Inferno, I have no idea what that's from. I really like what they did with Loki. The season 2 of Loki was really good. They did a really cool job of dealing with time dilation. Following Loki through different jumps in time, and experiencing the whole of time in different chunks. So, like, they're telling a story and you're watching it progress, but you get to see all of these things happen at different points in time through the story, like a few different ways, and I really like that. It's like, Steingate, much recommended. Time traveler done right. Okay. When does the next Dresden book come out? I guess I could just binge that whole series again. It's been a few years. It's got to be almost time for a new one. Unless a new one did come out and I missed it. It is 2 o'clock. I think I'm probably going to call it here. Hopefully we'll be back on Friday. Hopefully we'll do another one on Friday here, and we'll have finish up this list. We're down to about 15, so we might be able to get through them on Friday if Druid shows up. But we'll see how many. I don't know how many I got. I got like 8 done today, 7 or 8. So that's good. I'm going to try to work on the script a little bit more. Get that done and taken care of. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got today, I think. I need to go for another walk to finish up my exercise for the day. I hope people are getting their health stuff taken care of. Keeping themselves healthy. Let's see if there's anybody around for a redirect. Nope. Okay. That's all I got. Thanks again, everybody. Yeah. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your ass on the table. We'll be back on Friday. Thanks again for all your suggestions. And have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll see everybody later. Bye.